Right guys, welcome back to episode 11 of our weekly Impact Wrestling shows. I think this is a good show. It's a good wrestling card. That's why there's only 16 segments at 116 minutes. Because we have a lot of good long matches on. Not all of them are bangers, but there's enough there that I think if this was the kind of wrestling card I seen circling around on their Instagram or something, it'd be the kind of one I would want to check out. Some good matches on the card. Stories are still progressing. And hopefully Bound for Glory after this, after all these shows are done, will be a banger. Let's get into it. So we're going to begin with Josh Matthews and Don Callis. This time they're hyping up the Triple Threat #1 Contenders X Division match as we have Daga off the back of a big victory on last week's tag team match with Hernandez. Trey, member of the Rascals, of course. So had a lot of good wins both on Impact and on Explosion, and of course William Mack, who has been circling in and out of the title scene. And it's a 38 rated segment. No TJP, of course, because he had a shot last week. So, he's out of the picture for a little bit. The match is a 42, as Trey defeats Daga and Willie Mack in 11:41 after he pins Daga with a Yoshi Tonic. Daga 41, Trey 49, Willie Mack 49. Evidently, there's actually meant to be an angle here. Daga should be distracted by Reno Scum. Hernandez obviously at ringside for Daga, as they're sort of buddies now. Reno Scum will attack Hernandez, causing Daga to be distracted. Trey hits him with the Yoshi Tonic. That ends the match. But that didn't get rolled into it. Some people might not like a bit of a jobber tag team like Reno Scum being involved, but you've got to continue the story at all times. And then after that match, while Daga, Hernandez, and Reno Scum brawl to the back, Chris Bay climbs into the ring, stares down Trey, and raises the belt above his head as the two stare down as we go, I guess, to commercial break in a 39. Not bad. Hopefully this can be a good match. Two guys who I believe generally could be a big deal for us, especially in Impact Save and for Impact in real life. Then we have a 37. Jenna Perazzo talks about what Jordan Grace gave up to get that match with her, as next week they'll sign the contract officially, or if Jordan Grace does not win, she cannot compete for the Knockouts Championship as long as Jenna Perazzo holds it. Perazzo talks about how good she's done as champion so far, and about how she's just on a different level, and about how she is becoming the standard bearer for a division. And at Bound for Glory, she will put her name alongside all the other legendary knockouts who have held the belt and defended the belt at Bound for Glory. Next up, a little highlight package covering last week Susie's return to brawl with Tenille Dashwood after Dashwood turns on Kylie Ray. That set up this week's match between Susie and Tenille Dashwood, 28. Match got a 43, happy with that, as Tenille Dashwood defeats Susie in 10 minutes with a roaring elbow. 43 for Susie, 43 for Tenille. Not bad. Good match. Susie obviously takes that L because we're trying to build Tenille for a little bit longer. But a good match for both. Susie certainly doesn't look like an idiot. Then in a 47, maybe Tenille's like mocking Susie. Maybe laying a couple extra boots in after the W. And then Kylie Ray's musical hit. She gets in the ring. And to the love of the Impact crowd, she stands up for herself. She gets into Tenille Dashwood's face and shoves her down. Maybe they start brawling. Then Tenille escapes up the ramp, so Kylie can then make it up to Susie. The two hug to end this segment, and it's about progressing Kylie Ray. We keep pointing out how she's naive, how she's easily manipulated by some of the women in the division. So this is a little Kylie Ray standing up to for herself, and then rejoining Susie. Oh, yes, we do want to do the turn. No, we don't want to continue. Turn to heel, complete success. That's good. I think she's better as a heel anyway, in my personal opinion. And we were always kind of writing her as like a fake babyface. She was very clearly, to the audience, very clearly playing Kylie Ray. 42, as Rich Swann picks Eric Young's opponent. He specifies, when you're taking on a man like Eric Young, you've got to pick someone as crazy as him. as mad as him, as extreme as him, and of course he picks someone who I believe he's worked with a couple of times on TV. I think they worked together in the OVE storyline a while back. Rich Swann picks Tommy Dreamer, a man who knows his way around crazy, wild brawls. The kind of stuff Eric Young has been doing in this save. Rich Swann did a massive job of improvising, so good job there. 41, not bad. The 12-minute wild brawl was a bit much for Tommy Dreamer, so we went for 10 minutes as EY will beat Tommy Dreamer in 10 minutes. So that is the time to beat for Rich Swann next week. I should write that down actually. 10 minutes 16 is the official time to beat for Rich Swann next week. Dreamer got a 37, Eric Young got a 47, not bad. After the match, Eric Young tries to continue to beat down on Tommy Dreamer a bit, but Rich Swann rolls into the ring, and the two brawl, with Swann coming out on top. 38, not great, but we'll take it. Next up, Dinner Prazo should be off camera, but we have sort of the rebuttal segment of Jordan Grace talking about how, Dinner Prazo's only been champion for a couple of months, 3 months I think. She's no standard bearer to this division. The division is a wide open field, and of course, Prazo hasn't had the impact of someone like a Gail Kim, an Awesome Kong. That was her impact name, wasn't it? Right? Yeah. Maybe a Mickey James, a Madison Ray. She hasn't taken over the division. The division is still in play, and Jordan Grace believes that she will be the ace of the Knockouts division. 34, not bad. I can't remember if Prazo's segment was better, but either or, the story should be still alright heat-wise. Then we have a good match, 49, as we partnered Rob Van Dam in a match with Zachary Wentz. I haven't had Wentz on TV a lot. Again, I believe the Rascals can be a big part of this Impact save and Impact in the real-life future. So we got him on TV in a good match with RVD. RVD, of course, wins in 14 minutes with a 5-star frog splash. RVD got a 58, Wentz a 45. They have good chemistry, so that is always good. Again, the kind of match I think, if Impact were promoting it, people would want to see. Yeah, very good match. And after the match, Sami Callihan runs down to the ring, makes a beeline for RVD, but RVD gets out of the ring in time. Kitty Forbes does not. Callihan's able to grab Forbes, and I think they've done a segment like this in real life, where Callihan either did power drive Kitty Forbes or was supposed to, and RVD stopped it. But we'll have Kitty Forbes take the power driver on live television. RVD's on the ramp. He's furious. He's kicking the guardrail. He's throwing things around at ringside. He goes back down the ring. He brings Kitty Forbes back in, but he stays out of the ring after Sami Callihan stares him down. 56, great segment, and I think that would be a good motivation to bring RVD back into the storyline. Because obviously we've had him avoiding Callihan at all costs, but in this one, can RVD really ignore him now after he's power drived Kitty Forbes? Then we have a little segment with EC3 and Eddie Edwards. Impact Management have decided to put their two biggest names, the Impact World Champion and the former TNA World Heavyweight Champion, in the ring tonight against the North, the longest reigning Impact Tag Team Champions, I think. 40-minute segment, not great. Melissa Santos kind of was underwhelming. Eddie Edwards does not do well with his script. Santos struggled, but it's generally just a bit of a back and forth promo, kind of showing the differences between even in this iteration, a more clean cut, cocky EC3 and man of the people, hardcore Mr. Impact Wrestling Eddie Edwards. Just so you know, they're not generic babyface A and B, they're slightly different. And their match goes, alright, 50, another good match on this card. Again, another match I would like to see in real life. As the North sneak out with a win against EC3 and Eddie Edwards, as Josh Alexander pins Edwards with a TKO. So we might have a match next week, actually, with that. Now that I think of it, Alexander versus Edwards could be interesting. I'm not promising it'll be on the card, but it's a thought. And EC3 got a 40, Eddie Edwards a 45, Alexander a 47, and Page a 44. Not great that our championship contender has only a 40, but, well, they've been seemingly lost points because of the zero chemistry, actually, if you can see that there. Obviously, by the way, they didn't win, didn't lose for no reason. Moose will have hopped the rail, and, you'll spear EC3 at ringside, and that will cause Eddie Edwards to get hit by the TKO or the Norse finisher and get pinned by Josh Alexander. And then after this, in a 56, a great segment, Moose will then lay out Eddie Edwards afterwards. Having laid out EC3 at ringside, he'll lay out Eddie Edwards with a steel chair, he'll spear him, he'll grab the Impact World Heavyweight Championship, hold it above his head, and that will close Impact Wrestling for this week. He maybe even puts a foot on the chest of your Impact World Champion, just to show that Moose is a badass and Moose is back. Finish the show. 51, better than the previous couple of shows. I think it's a very good card. We have a new X Division challenger in Trey Miguel. That is his name, right? We sort of set up where Deonna Purrazzo and Jordan Grace think they're going. Kylie Ray stands up to Neil Dashwood. We have the time of 10 minutes and 16 for Rich Swann to beat next week. RVD has seen Kitty Ford be power-drived by Sami Callihan. The North have picked up big victory on a potential road to facing the Guns again. And of course, Moose has returned and laid out the challenger and the champion for the Impact World Heavyweight Championship. Thank you guys for checking out this episode. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.